Hi guys, this is going to be tips for first-time moms on surviving your first month of life with a newborn. Some of these are probably going to be very basic ideas and you may have thought of these. However, these are things that I found incredibly helpful during the first month, and some of these things I didn't think of beforehand. Some of them I did. So without much further ado, I will go ahead and get into the tips. So first thing is probably very basic. It is a diaper caddy. Now, there are diaper caddies that you can buy at Target, Walmart, any of those stores, and I'm sure you can order online. And I did see them when I was pregnant. However, I didn't think it was necessary as I live in a small one-bedroom apartment. I thought it would just be easy for me to just get up and get things. Boy, was I wrong about that. So I made my own diaper caddy. And that's right, it's just a raggedy old shoebox. Well, now it's kind of a raggedy shoebox. You don't have to buy anything expensive. You don't need to buy something that, is pre-made to be a diaper caddy. It could be a basket with handles, which would probably be more functional, or it could be just a box that you have lying around. Basically, this is helpful for a number of things. Containing all those things that you usually use on a regular basis, like probably a few times a day, so it doesn't get all scattered all over like the room that you're in. If it doesn't normally belong there, it's contained in this box, so you can not have it a junk littering up your area, you have this very conveniently with you to move around freely, and whether you live in a small place or a big place, I really think this is very helpful, because when you have a sleeping baby, when you're feeding your baby and you need something quick, you don't want to have to wake your sleeping baby. You do not want to have to disturb what you're doing to go up and get it, even though mine's just in the next room, most of my supplies. This is just so much easier. So in my diaper caddy, I have just medication that we use on a daily basis, prescription medication that we've been using on a daily basis, diapers, of course, and in here I had a nursing pad, so I keep nursing pads in here just in case I need them right away. Burp cloths, that is so useful for so many reasons. Binky or Passy's, he has his right now, so I don't have it in there to show you. Butt paste, hair clip, because I like to keep my hair up when I'm nursing and I don't like to always have it up all the time. And of course, wipies. So you could put anything in there, anything that you use on a regular basis, that you use hourly or daily, I mean anything that you want. But those are the things that I put in there because I need those pretty much all the time. Also I do have nipple cream in there. I don't know where that is. So you can put anything in there. Again, it doesn't have to be fancy. It can be just a shoebox like I'm using. So that has helped. So along those kind of lines, another thing that is really helpful is my Moby wrap. And I feel like that's kind of related because I really had a hard issue dealing with being immobile, and not being able to just get up and do things easily, especially in the very beginning when when I was still sore. I had my husband doing a lot of things, but then he went back to work, so I really he couldn't do a lot. He works like ridiculously a ridiculous amount of hours, and I don't have anybody else helping me, so this is really helpful. All of these tips are really helpful if you're trying to do things on your own. Most importantly, I have to mention that. So I had to adjust to getting things done on my own and getting up, and if the remote was over here, I had to get up and get the remote. I know it sounds lazy, but it's not. When you have a baby in your lap and you're recovering, it's hard to do these things in the beginning. It took me some practice. So I bought a Moby wrap. I didn't buy this again pre-pregnancy or during pregnancy. I bought this afterwards right away because I was on Baby Center. I was looking up things because I was worried about not being able to do things on my own, well, with baby. It's just, you don't realize how much that affects you. You realize it, but you don't really realize the effects until you bring your baby home and you're here by yourself trying to do things. The Moby wrap, I purchased after reading reviews and also after going on baby wearing boards, and on Baby Center they directed me there. If I can get that link below, I will try to get the link below for the baby wearing forum that I was on. There's a lot of different types. I personally chose the Moby wrap because it was mostly the easiest thing available, and also a lot of great reviews. The Moby wrap, and I should have brought it out here, but I didn't. It's a long cloth, a special type of cloth. It's stretchy. You wrap it around your body. It looks like it's going to be really complicated, but once you get the first couple of times you get it on you, it's really easy. There's a lot of Moby wearing or Moby tutorials on here, and if I can find the one I used below, I will also link that in the description box as well. And it just really has saved me. Wearing my baby has saved me so much. I can't tell you. It saved me physically, it saved me emotionally, because I do not want to just lay on the couch all day. I mean, there's times when you have to do it and you're feeding your baby. I mean, things like that. I can't be incapacitated like that. I need to get stuff done. I need to, be working on stuff whenever I can. I mean, it's not always a possibility, but when you can. I wear my baby. He's close to my chest. He feels comforted. He can fall asleep in it. I can cook in it. I can do really light housework in it. I can move around, get ready for the day in it. I can be pretty much hands-free. I do, however, with the newborn, you do have to be careful with their head, because I still feel like it's not quite stable enough, so I always kind of keep my hand there when I'm moving about. But I know there are like hands-free methods, but I'm not that great at it yet. I'm hoping to get there. So I really think that was an incredibly life-saving type of product to buy. Doesn't have to be the Moby. There's a lot of different infant carriers. Find the one that works for you, but I highly, highly recommend Babywearing. You can get a lot done. So I'm just looking at my list here so I don't forget things. Okay, so the next thing is pre-prepared meals and prepping your meals before, on a weekly basis. So pre-prepared meals, I did think of doing that while I was pregnant. I did a few of them. However, I didn't do very many because A, I was kind of lazy, so I was pregnant, and B, I just kind of ran out of time, and we have a tiny kitchen and not a lot of space to store things. So I did do that a little bit, and I know a lot of people recommend that, and I do highly recommend it, because in the beginning when you're coming home, especially if you don't have somebody helping you, again, you just want to be able to quickly throw something in the microwave or the oven and just have it ready, not have to worry about preparing things. I think that's incredibly helpful. Like I said, especially if you're doing this all on your own, and then you can baby wear, and again, baby wearing takes practice. You don't have to be worrying about like trying to chop things up when you're baby wearing, which I think is hard. So another thing is, besides the pre-prepared meals, is I recommend prepping your food if you can in advance. So that would mean like cutting up vegetables. I cut up vegetables and fruit, usually what I'm going to use for the week, and some things that I can store in the freezer, I cut that up and I store it in freezable containers, and I freeze those so that I can just quickly take it out and throw it in my dish. I think that was incredible. That has been incredibly helpful for me. I'm still doing that, and I probably will continue to do that because it really saves a lot of time. I can quickly make a meal while baby's baby wearing or baby sleeping. Along those lines, I recommend picking up some like instant meals if you don't have a lot of space or time to do any prep work or pre-prepared meals. I bought a lot of stuff like salads that you can just quickly throw a salad together, those salad bags. There's different kinds like Caesar and Asian, all those things. We bought a lot of macaroni and cheese, like Annie's organic macaroni and cheese. I got like deli stuff to make sandwiches. Those were, very instant type of things to eat, were very helpful. Fruit just to have on hand. A lot of things that you can eat one-handed are great, especially if you're breastfeeding. That takes a minute to master, I think, as well, because I wasn't able to breastfeed without using both my hands with the latch, and but depends on your situation. But I now can have my one hand free to eat my apple or eat my sandwich. It really helps. Another thing that I did was buying disposable utensils and plates and cups. I know that, I'm probably going to get a lot of slack for this because, it's not always the best, it's not very environmentally friendly to do that. However, I don't have a dishwasher. So for me, doing dishes on, several times a day was very unrealistic for me, just at least in the first couple of weeks. My dishes would pile up, so I went out and bought disposable cups, eating utensils, and plates, and that really saved me a lot of time. And again, if you don't have somebody helping you and you're doing this all on your own, and I want to say that I did have help from my husband, but for the most part he was at work, so it was just me. He went back to work the day after we got home from the hospital. So it was really helpful for me. Again, not very environmentally friendly, but if you don't have a dishwasher, I personally found it helpful. So another thing that I find incredibly helpful I'm sorry I'm saying incredibly so much, is helpful as well, is a calendar. Now I have just a notebook calendar, and you can use your phone, whatever works for you. But in the beginning, you have a ton of appointments. Well, at least I did. I had doctor's appointments for me, for him, with nurses. I also had other things that that you don't really think about until later. People dropping by, you want to make sure you don't have other appointments, getting the birth certificate, getting insurance, all that stuff figured out. And when you're sleep deprived, you got a baby attached to you 24/7, it's really hard to be in your right state of mind and thinking about these things. So before you even have your baby, while you're still, even though you might have your pregnancy brain, before you have them, I recommend getting a calendar and writing down any outstanding appointments that you may have set up in your month at a glance. That's what I use, or you can use whatever method works for you, but I keep other notes and stuff in here so that I know to refer to them. But here I just use my monthly calendar, and I wrote down outstanding appointments and things as they came in. I put them in the calendar right away, so that first of all, for me, it helps writing it down so that I already kind of have that in my brain. But then also I have the calendar just to quickly flip open to the month at a glance page, and I know what's coming up and when we're making plans, what days to avoid. So again, kind of a fairly obvious thing. And I didn't bring my phone here, but I think everybody kind of knows what a phone looks like. That's another thing I really recommend, is having your phone with you at all times. And if you don't do that already, most people do, have it with you, put it in your pocket. Sometimes I put it here in my bra strap. I just always have it with me, because I would be breastfeeding or the baby would be sleeping and my phone would be ringing and I'd be like, oh crap. I might be missing an important phone call from insurance or for doctor's appointments, things like that you need, to be able to have access to your phone, right on your lap. Plus, when you're holding the baby and you really can't move, or you're breastfeeding, you can scroll through your phone on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube videos. That's what I did, or that's what I do when I'm breastfeeding. Sometimes I have my iPad with me, but having my phone was important. Also, taking pictures. You might have your baby on your lap and you might catch the first smile and you have your camera right there. Or you might see them just making that perfect face, you have your camera right there. So really, if you use an electronic calendar, you have everything all in one, kind of like your own little, I have my Diaper caddy, you can have your phone and have all of your, important things on there that you need. So I think that, taking your phone with you and just wearing things with pockets, or things that you can just take your phone around with you from place to place, and you don't have to worry about holding it, because you're going to be holding your baby, or you may be holding your baby, or you might be doing other things. Definitely was very helpful, or has been helpful, because there's so many times I've been on the couch breastfeeding and I'm like, crap, I wish I had my phone with me, for so many reasons. Okay, so another thing that people, I don't think you think of when you think of essentials, or surviving the first life, is talking to somebody. Having somebody close to you that you can talk to, or even that's not close to you, but just reaching out. You could be going on Baby Center and asking, well, my baby has crusties in his eye. What does that mean? You know, they're not going to know. They're not doctors with anything. But, I mean, they're not going to know for sure. They're not doctors. Take your baby to the doctor if you have medical questions. But any, like, small thing that you might be like, am I being overly paranoid, first-time mother? I'm going to just kind of get other people's opinion. So utilizing, you know, forums, YouTube, looking up things that you know, are not sure about, or you want to know what type of nipple shield to buy. I mean, there's just so many different resources. So reaching out to, you know, social media, reaching out to close friends, experienced parents, is really helpful. And also, really, it's important to keep communication with, like, your friends and family. Although you might kind of feel like isolating yourself a little bit because you've got so much going on with your baby. That's what I felt like during the first week. I'm like, I don't want visitors. I don't want people over here. My house is a mess. You know, I look crappy, whatever. But it's really helpful because, you know, you're going through so many different emotions. You're going through so many things in your mind, different questions, different ideas. You don't really know what to do in certain instincts. Certain things are instinctual, but certain things aren't, and you think that they're going to be, but they're not. And it really helps to have somebody to talk to, whether it's just somebody to make you laugh, somebody to answer your questions for you, somebody to advise you. I truly think it's important to reach out to your community online or your own personal community. Because, you know, not everybody, I know, has somebody that has a go-to person, and not everybody has, you know, parents staying with them, or, you know, their husbands don't always have time off of work, or maybe you're a single mom with not really a lot of help. So stay connected to people. It really helps, truly. I can tell you from my own experience. So I think that is it. Those are my essentials or tips for surviving the first month of life as a first-time mom with your newborn. And this is what worked for me. If you have any ideas that what worked for you, for other people that may watch this, or even for myself, because I'm not even to 3 months yet, so we're still in this early newborn stage. So I really appreciate any tips or tricks that you have for me. So thank you. Sorry about that. Cat's messing around. Baby's about to wake up. So thank you for watching, and I have to go. Have a nice day.